Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I was just as excited by, inspired by, blown away by that film at this age as I was when I was 14 seeing The Godfather for the first time.
Wow.
Now, you could point to whatever flaws you want in that film. That film was made, I felt, directly for me. It was a movie about an era in Hollywood that I romanticized, about an industry that I romanticize. The look, the soundtrack, the commercials on the radio, the cars, the cast, everything about it just tapped right into that feeling. So that movie reminded me how I can still fall in love with a movie again. So that's the movie.
I think I've literally watched that one 50 times.
I've watched it.
I mean, I'm crazy over that movie.
That one was fun to go back and look at what Quentin did. Like when they talk about how he picked his cast, like to the extreme extent he went to find each and every person is crazy. Like that guy's
I love it.
More nuts than you, Adam.
Now I will tell you this. Now if I can just make a connection. So Burt Reynolds was supposed to play the role that Bruce Dern played in that film.
Oh, really?
And what happened was I had just finished making The Last Movie Star. And apparently Quentin had been told that Burt is too old or infirmed or not capable of really being effective anymore, and that he shouldn't consider Burt for that role. But then Quentin saw, and Quentin told me this story personally.
Yeah.
Then Quentin said he saw Burt doing the publicity campaign for The Last Movie Star. And he saw him on all the talk shows. And he said he was just as funny and just as sharp and just as charming as he'd ever been before. So he reached out to A24 and asked them to send him an advance copy of the movie. He said he watched it twice. He said he loved it. He reached out to Burt and he offered Burt the role.
Oh, wow.
And then he was very complimentary to me about my film. So I took that as a real, that was a very emotionally satisfying moment for me, because I had told Quentin that his film, re-inspired me and my love of movies. And he said so many complimentary things about The Last Movie Star, and because of that movie, why he cast Burt. Burt ultimately passed away before he could film that film.
Oh, yeah.
But he did attend the table read, and Burt called me and said, with like a childlike innocence, he said to me, and I walk in, they flew me to LA for the table read. I walk in and here's Al Pacino, and here's Brad Pitt, and here's Leonardo DiCaprio, and here's Margot Robbie, and here's everybody, Kurt Russell. And they all stand up and they applaud me when I walk in the room. I said, yeah, you're Burt fucking Reynolds. Of course they're applauding you when you walk in the room. But he didn't see himself that way, even to the end. It was so interesting.
That's so cool. Okay, Tess Manchester, please tell us, ask a question if you have one, and then anything you want to share about who you are.
Well, this has been super fun. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions, but I guess I'll admit what now seems kind of weird. So when we used to play Cops and Robbers with my brothers and sisters, we would reenact that scene in The Chase where you take someone hostage with a candy bar. So that was
no way.
That fun time.
That is fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. That has made my day.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so what should we know about you, Tess?
That's about it. Yeah, just stuck in quarantine, wishing to get out there and see some more movies. But, yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to Kumari.
Thank you so much for being here. This was amazing.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for you. As I'm sure you know, most of us are in exhibition and it's just been crushing, and nobody in this industry, everyone has those moments where you're just, you need to do a 180 and reinvent, what advice do you have, or what do you tell yourself when you have those situations?
Oh, good question.
That's a great question. Yeah, to me, I always harken back to one of the darkest moments in my professional life turned into the most incredible opportunity. I was the original director on a movie called Barb Wire with Pamela Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wow.
and due to political infighting between the producers of the film and the financiers of the film, I took the fall and I got fired after a week of shooting because I became the pawn between the power play between them. Because I was hired by the producers, who were the comic book company who owned the character, and the company that funded the film had a stable of directors that they used for commercials and videos, and they wanted one of their directors. And anyway, I took the fall. And all the people who called me to congratulate me when they read on the front page of Variety that I was hired to direct the movie didn't return my call when they read on Variety that I was let go for creative differences, So I thought to myself, after a day and a half of wallowing, I thought to myself, all right, what do I have to offer that nobody else does that can enable me to get myself out of this hole? I looked around and I thought, okay, what does everybody want in Hollywood? They want material. They want to option the next article. They want to buy the next screenplay. They want the next life rights to this story. They want every producer, every executive, every production company. They're thirsty for good material. Well, I can create it from scratch. So I'm just going to go on a writing tear, and I'm just going to write script after script until I've written the script that somebody wants badly enough that it pulls me out of this hole. So I immediately wrote 3 scripts in a row. The first 2 didn't sell at all. They were still making Barbed Wire when I wrote the 3rd script, which was called Mouse Hunt, which was a very silly movie just about 2 estranged brothers who inherit an old dusty house that they're trying to fix up and sell and split the money and then go their separate ways. But unbeknownst to them, there's a very determined mouse living in the house who is not going to give up his home easily. And he goes about making their lives a nightmare while they try to get rid of him. And it's like a live action Tom and Jerry. And in the process, the brothers destroy the whole house, but restore their relationship. That's the idea. So within 3 days of finishing the screenplay, and I wrote it in a week. I mean, I banged it out fast. My agent sent it out, and it became the subject of a bidding war, which I had read that existed, but I had never experienced. And it sold to DreamWorks in a huge, exciting script sale way.
Yeah.
And that changed the course of my career completely, because suddenly, instead of directing this movie that in retrospect was doomed to fail, I wrote this movie for Steven Spielberg, who produced it immediately, and it became a big success. So I guess the only thing that I would say is, and I think it applies to anything, so in exhibition as well, is there are no rules. Just think of a new way to cleave a path and be creative.
Okay, we're going to go to Sandy. Thanks, Kumari. That was awesome.
Awesome. Thank
Adam, you're a
you.
great answer.